Interjection here, Nation of Warriors 1v1 commentary number 15. Now the audio in this video is a little bit quiet and I have a little bit of a monotone. That is because I was recording late at night whilst everybody was sleeping. This is French versus British. Now when playing against the British you need to constantly be aware of their booming capabilities and obviously take appropriate action for that. Strategies out there for dealing with the British boom go far and wide, but generally, or at least in this game in particular, playing aggressively is key. This game essentially shows what happens if you're just that little bit too slow or not quite aggressive enough to knock the British boom before it really gets going. Thought I'd just mention this now before the video starts, as it's something I don't really cover in my commentary, which perhaps I should have done. This is a 1v1 OBS game between Hake and the 010. This is obviously, here we are, Major versus Major. I think blue is level 31, red is level 29. Let's have a look at these crates. Red playing as British, we see 3 wood crates, 2 food crates. Blue playing as French, we see 3 food crates, 2 wood crates. So for both sides here, a perfect crate start, absolutely perfect for, let's start with the British here. 3 wood crates, that'll be a market and a manor and hunting dogs, which is always nice. Hunting, personally I go with the market and the hunting dogs because it's economically more efficient in the slightly longer term. Obviously the extra manor is only more short term, if you think about it mathematically anyway. We see blue going to collect a little bit of extra wood there, 50 more to be exact, and he'll get that hunting dogs in production, early market start. Hunting dogs obviously giving you a plus 10% bonus to food gather rate for your settlers, and obviously if you start with coin then you have to collect an extra 150 wood rather than just 50 wood, and obviously the sooner you start collecting food the better. So we see this settler here watering off to this herd, I imagine, start herding that back, get that in nice and early. So let's take a look at red. No, he hasn't bothered with the market, he's going 2 houses. To be fair, that is almost exactly the same as the early market and the hunting dogs. Okay, to be fair, he's found 135 wood here as a treasure, so I imagine he probably will go for market as well. That's a very nice treasure to have for British. Obviously, your manors cost 135 wood, you get a free settler, and 135 wood is exactly a manor. Although in this particular case, I think it'll be a market and the hunting dogs, because you'll have a little bit of wood left over from these 2 manors. Let's have a look at the treasures they've been collecting. So nothing substantial, just the coin and the coin treasures that you start with in your base, plus that 30 food treasure. Let's have a look here. So we see 70 coin, we see 75 coin, so a nice little bit of coin fairly near blue. Tomahawk Warrior, blue's not moving very far. We see red, so blue's Explorer hasn't come across any treasures yet, still scouting around. Obviously he's French, so he's likely to have found some decent treasures, because you start with your native scout, and obviously the British only start with the you start with your Explorer, so it's difficult to start scouting the map, because you have to collect treasures with just the Explorer, and the Explorer doesn't move, well, to be honest, doesn't move that quick. So we see here this house out here, and obviously he's got the extra settler, so he hasn't bothered with the market. Again, it's another house with that 135 wood. Again, that's just the same really as an extra, as a starting with the market. You can always go with the market later. So yeah, this house is out here because it's unlikely for red to want to destroy a British house, because obviously the British just can rebuild the house and get another free settler. So if you leave all of your opponent's houses, all of the British houses standing, then obviously they can't train any more settlers than the additional 20. If you destroy them, really you're just doing them a favour. Anyway, let's back to treasures. We have the 2 cows here, guided by 4 jaguars, cougars, never really understood that, and another native scout treasure. That's a nice one for the British, but obviously probably hasn't seen it. It is quite an awkward position. Though red, here we see him going for 75 coin. Other than there's no really substantial treasures on the map, just these small ones really. Let's have a look at the hunt situation. So red has got a hunt fairly close, and there's this one here. Doesn't look like he's done any herding on that. Or perhaps he has, because there's a dead bison here. So I was going to say, otherwise if these both started here, that would be a very nice start. Also see a pronghorn herd fairly close, so red's got very decent hunts. Also got very good coin mines, so we see this 1 coin mine behind his base that he can easily put his settlers on if there's a little bit of pressure going on. And then there's this coin mine here, same for red, he's got 2 coin mines, although one's in front of his base, so not a great place. It's always nice to have it around the back, but still 2 coin mines each, and that's good. Obviously both civs are aging. I should have commented on that earlier. We know this because is switched from food to other resources, and you wouldn't change to collecting anything other than food because you want to age up as fast as you can, really. So basically we see red collecting wood. It wants to probably get 2 manas, maybe that market, not sure what he wants to do. Yeah, but either way, that's he's trying to boom his economy. You're likely to see probably 2 manas, or maybe 1 mana in a market. Obviously there's 2 extra settlers straight there, although we could see 3. We do see a market over here, and more houses placed out here. This is for line of sight. Obviously, if you're playing British, you want to be quite boomy. Let's face it, because that's the way the British. If we look at the British as a civilization, for every house they build, they get an extra settler. What are you going to do? Build as many houses as you can, get a shit ton of settlers. But there's a trade-off between booming hard and not getting anally pounded by a rush or your military power, because you don't want to boom too much early on. Anyway, we see red just aged with 500 food, and the blue aged with 400 wood. Often the British will go for the 200 coin age up, because you get a free tower, and you can use that 200 coin to get them those musketeers in production. That tower is always nice to defend with, but he's got a decent line of sight out here, so he's going to be seeing any incoming early military, and hopefully that'll give him enough time to deal with it, i.e. change shipments and stuff. We'll probably see the first shipment will be, we see 700 wood, as I expected. 700 wood will be a first shipment with British, because you want to start building them houses. You can build a shit ton of houses with all that wood, get lots of extra settlers. We see 2 fairly forward markets. Personally, I build them further back as British, playing more defensively, but perhaps he feels comfortable enough. Obviously red not really pushing that much. Well, to be fair, there's a double barracks, but no pressure as of yet. I think blue just sent 700 wood, I'm not sure, but I'll verify that with all resources gathered. No, I won't with wood. So yeah, he sent 700 wood here, I think, because there's a huge increase in wood. And that 700 wood will be, obviously, houses, the steel traps upgrade, although he double barracks. Okay, so we see, instead of musketeer start, we see crossbow start, so that wood actually was facilitating training crossbows. Obviously wood is a slow gathering resource, you don't want to collect too much wood. Might have that wood upgrade there at the market, that'll make it more efficient, not as horrible then to be collecting wood. Obviously that 700 wood gets these crossbows in production. And I think blue was anticipating that red would go musketeer, see here, because red has trained the counter. Almost got that settler down, 6 HP, 1 more shot would have done it. See a little bit of early aggression here. Red's going to run away because 1, he's outnumbered, and 2, red has more range than him. Right here we see 6 musketeers just popped on him. To be fair though, blue's going to want to get out of there as quick as he can. We see red's been hiding his musketeers so that blue doesn't know where they are, and he's now just coming in all at one moment, from different angles. A little bit of an ambush there. Paid off. Blue lost a few more units than he needed to. So we see 600 wood from blue. Probably going to be more manas, as we see he's just built a shit ton of manas everywhere for line of sight. More standard British build for this kind of boom is 700 wood, obviously for the manas, and then 5 settler shipment directly, and then your 600 wood. I don't think he's gone for those 5 settlers. We'll have a look at the villager timeline though. No, he hasn't. We do not see any boosts in settlers here. Possibly the wood could be there for training longbowmen. That would be a nice way to obviously outrange these crossbowmen, and 2, musketeers aren't a nice unit to use against crossbowmen, obviously, because they lack the range. To be fair though, he's outmassed him, and if you can get into range of crossbows, they are quite a nice unit to use. Red can see these crossbows here. That's another 10. Another 10 is so 30 crossbows-ish, probably a little bit more so. But obviously, now blue is outnumbering red. Let's have a look at the military score. Military unit population. So blue 33, red 24. Blue clearly outnumbering him. So thing is though, red isn't going to engage. When blue gets close, he's going to run away. 1, because he's outnumbered, and 2, crossbows have more range. So if he micros them properly, theoretically you wouldn't lose. You can like not lose any crossbowmen, but that in practice you never see that. It's just ridiculous. But in theory, as we see there, So red did a good job with the hunts, but they're now a little bit scattered. A lot of them are dead, obviously slowly running out, and he wants to pick off the settlers. Best way to approach the British is raid, be very aggressive early on, try and kill these settlers, because obviously each settler you kill is costing him 135 wood per settler, obviously with these houses. And you know, if the settler dies from the house, the house isn't really that useful. It's only extra population, and to be fair, you build so many manors anyway that you don't need the population. Makes sense. A little bit of lag there. Taunt 15. Okay, let's have a look at the all resources gathered. I personally would expect blue to be a lot further ahead. Actually, it's very even. Red at 9,000, blue at 8,400. See a little bit of conflict here. Blue gonna shoot, then run. And then shoot, then run. But here we see 4 hussars. Where's his stable? We see a stable at the very back, very out of the way, so that blue won't notice that. Obviously red doesn't want him to notice that, because hussars are the direct counter for these crossbowmen. We'll probably see some pike pop out soon now that red knows there is a cavalry shipment. Sorry, cavalry. So here we are, 10 pikemen. But red's not going to pressure him, because all blue's going to do is shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, run. And although red might be able to kill off a decent amount, overall it's not economically viable. It's not that efficient if you keep getting outranged. So why is this blue's score is so even? Basically, the French boom is quite strong. You start with 6.25 settlers equivalent. Obviously, you start with 5 Coeur de Bois, but they're worth 1.25 settlers each. And then the 4 Coeur shipment and the 3 Coeur shipment accordingly is actually, you get more than your standard settler. And then also you get all these upgrades like the hunting dogs and your steel traps and things. And not sure. Let's have a look at blue's deck. See spice trade. I personally have spice trade in my deck. I also have the coin one and the furrier card, because I prefer playing French in H2 for some reason. There are a lot of people go H3 a little bit earlier than I would, obviously for them skirmishes. So here I think red's economy is taking hold, is outnumbered. So here these pikemen going to go into attack the cavalry, but now the cavalry are going to run. They don't want to take their hefty damage from and these trees are totally in the way. The crossbowmen had, sorry, the pikemen had to walk all the way around the trees to get to. That was a nice positioning, probably not intentional. We see, fair enough. The game's paused. I'll edit the pause out. Maybe red's taken a huge shit. Obviously right now we'd be sitting there squeezing it out very quickly, because he doesn't know that the game could be unpaused. Blue could be cheating, and obviously wants to get back as soon as he can to
Are you ready?
Here we are, he's back, finished his big poo. Okay, so don't know where the cavalry went, and the pikemen have gone as well. Looks like he popped 10 crossbowmen right at the right moment. Now red's on the retreat. We see 5 hussars here. Obviously no pikemen to protect them. And although blue's army is larger than red's, red's economy is taking hold now. Red's got, let's have a look at the all settlers gathered. So villager population. So red's got 37 settlers, blue has 30. Let's quickly turn that into 30 times 1.25 is equal to 37. So 37.5 settlers up against 37. So it's actually very even with regards to settlers. Let's have a look at all resources gathered then. Red is clearly taking a lead here. So red, irrespective of how many settlers they have, red has collected more resources overall, and there is quite a large gap, and it is getting larger at this point in the game. Red's, obviously blue's mass is larger than red's. Red, if blue pushed, he'd probably do quite a good job of pushing. Actually, perhaps not. We see cavalry here. But red's economy is taking home all those settlers now, bringing in the resources, going to help him mass a shit ton of units. So basically here, crossbowmen, very bad positioning from on blue's part here. The pikemen need to get round, ideally where my cursor is here, to counter these hussars. We see 10 pikemen just popped on top of the hussars. Not too bad in the end. Hussars going away, needs to bring them across. Those pikemen back now, coming back because they're going to be taking shots from the musketeers. The crossbowmen attacking musketeers. There's not enough crossbowmen here. There's too many cavalry. He's going to lose them. Then they'll move on to the crossbowmen. Going to lose the crossbowmen. Cavalry and crossbowmen fighting. No crossbowmen left. Sorry, no pikemen left. 4 cav and a huge shit ton of musketeers. Might see some more pikemen pop from these barracks, but it's not going to help him. They need to be over here. Actually, there's 5 cav here. They're going to start fighting here. That's all these cav down. These crossbowmen have been targeting the cavalry that are on top of them, but they really ideally need to be targeting these musketeers, bringing them down. Not so good. We see these pikemen attacking the hussars, bringing them down, but it's too late. He's had to attack too many hussars with crossbowmen rather than pikemen, and now Red's mass is larger, and there's not enough range on it. Obviously, this hussar's slowing him down. Once that's dead, he'll move back further. Now that's gone, he won't engage, he'll run. The outcome of that fight, though, obviously now the score is 92 to blue, 134 to red, and red came off a lot better there, mostly because of unit choice. With regards to mass, blue's army was actually, I think, slightly larger at the very start. Obviously throughout the course of that fight, red's army is now much larger, 1 because blue lost a shit ton of units, but 2, red is able to outmass him due to his superior economy. Okay, so what we're looking at here is blue is just, whilst red brings down this barracks, blue can just attack these musketeers at range, and I imagine the musketeers will run now that barracks is gone, but blue can just pop off a few shots on red whilst he's sitting there. So what's going on right now? Okay, so red no longer has military buildings, he's rebuilding them here. It's a nice place to build them, to be honest. It's on top of his hunts. Putting your military buildings near your hunts, it's where your military is going to be coming from, basically protecting his hunts. If he loses them, then he's not going to have any more food coming in, and that would be the end of the game. It already is the end of the game, though. We see a 40-point lead on red. I have seen people come back from a 40-point lead, but considering this is British and he has got a rolling economy, very unlikely. Since the French can't do anything special to boost their economy, obviously the British can just shit out like 20 houses all in one go. We're not going to see much conflict here without hussars, because we see 5 hussars coming here, maybe some more. We see 2 stable, 1 at the very back here, 5 cavalry, 1 further forward now, doesn't need to be as hidden or defended. And basically I think he'll probably start sieging this barracks and probably walk off a little bit when the crossbowmen turn up, but won't get fully engaged in the fighting until these 5 hussars have met as well, so it's 10 hussars in total. Actually, looks like he is getting involved here. We see the settlers have, they only have the hit point upgrade. He's getting his settlers involved with the fighting. The Kurds have a decent range damage and 8 attack range damage, but losing them is not going to help him now. Looking at this fight, he's outnumbered too many cavalry. That is GG. Okay, so what's happening now? Settlers appear to be back to work. That's kind of funny. I note they're now attacking the cavalry, using his settlers as pikemen, but really, losing the settlers just means after this fight, he will lose all the crossbowmen. Basically he's lost his economic capabilities and he won't be able to keep up. Okay, so here he'll take on this small batch, but if the rest of the musketeers meet up into one large batch, he won't take on. So basically, he's now at a decent range. Blue's got some range on red. He can take shots on these musks. Probably going to walk back a bit now and then shoot again. No. Okay, red's going to take out these, but I don't think he'll hang around. See, it's a little bit of... See, the musketeers can't get their shots off. It's too much range. Blue will move these back, do a few more shots. Okay, I think red's going for this Lakota settlement here. Not sure. Both those settlers dead, but not gonna... Blue lost way more settlers. Let's have a look at the settler graph just before the fight gets going. Village count. See, we see red on 52, blue on 22. And here we are, this fight. These crossbowmen actually almost outnumbered against cavalry. They have gone, not even gonna watch. Here we see blue has resigned. Good game.
We'll be right back.